Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome again to this very wonderful session where we speak about the environment. First off, happy World Environment Day. June 5th every year is a time that we speak and we create awareness surrounding issues with respect to the environment. Now, the United Nations Environment Program set aside this day where we celebrate the World Environment Day. And the theme for this year is Beat Plastic Pollution. We have with us our very own dearest speaker who is going to break it down to us on a practical approach on how we can curb this in our various households and also in organizations. Now, it's very important to state that the Academy is committed to always share knowledge around important events like this so that we can continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Thank you so much for joining. For those who joined from the UK, from Ghana, from Akwa Ibom, Lagos State, Ogun State, thank you so much for joining. Without much ado, we'll just commence the session while we continue. So as a culture in the Academy, we always have a moment where we have a reflection on events that are happening, and we call that the sustainable moment. And now, sustainability moment will be taking no other than our General Secretary, Olusegun Olaniyi, the General Secretary of the QHSCS Leadership Academy. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. The floor is yours for you to take your safety moment. Thank you. Sustainability moment, my apologies.
Okay, thank you very much. Today we'll be looking at plastic pollution in our environment, but the sustainability moment that I want to give is just a tip or the tip of an iceberg, as it is being said. Plastic materials actually are almost everywhere in our daily lives. If we have a thoughtful look around us, we will realize that our life has so much in one way or the other been dependent on plastics, and how this has affected our society, it cannot be overemphasized. So therefore, there's a need for all of this to be put into consideration. The rate at which plastic waste, and actually plastic waste grows in the world today is discouraging and uncalled for. A global plastic waste disaster is being focused on a day like this. Now, the essence of this is for us to be able, or for us to have the idea and the knowledge of how to manage and use our plastics. The whole essence is for us to be able to learn to reuse, to reduce, and then to recycle. So, and how this can be done is for us, is what we are going to learn today. So the plastic has really caused havoc in our society today. And I want you to know, as most of us have known, is that plastic is biodegradable. That is, it takes about 100 to 300 years for it to even start breaking down. So phasing out the single use of plastic that pollute most by promoting reusable bottles, such as stainless steel or glass bottles, improving recycling infrastructure. This may include setting up more recycling facilities to ensure that more PETs are recycled into new products, holding companies responsible for plastics that create them, and then implementing bottle deposit or disposal system. This could be the buyers pay a caution fee and get refund when they return the bottle deposit. With this, we can achieve the Vision Zero Waste future, where products can be properly reused and effectively recycled. I will conclude this sustainability moment with Engineer Jamiu's word. He said, we should not be wicked to the next generation by the way we treat our environment and planet as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olusegun, for that very apt sustainability moment. Thank you so much for sharing. To further buttress this point, we also like to share a video
Plastic has been a solution. It has given us convenience, affordability, utility. However, the durability of plastic is both its benefit and its curse. Plastic pollution endures. It's suffocating our planet. We have seen solutions that work, rejecting single-use plastics, creating circular and sustainable alternatives, managing plastic waste more efficiently. Together, let's create systems to better reuse, reduce, and recycle. Let's push for an ambitious global agreement to end plastic pollution. Let's demand governments and businesses act, commit, and set new standards. Use your voice and your choice to beat plastic pollution. Let's do better.
Let's do better. What are your choices as an individual, as an organization, towards reducing, reusing, or recycling plastic so that the effects can be reduced in the environment and also to the lives of humans? To welcome us to this session officially, we're going to call on the Program Coordinator of the QHSCS Leadership Academy, Mr. Adegboyega Ojengbede, to please give us a brief opening remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Oyi, and good evening, everyone. Please can you confirm if you can hear me clearly?
Yes.
Loud and clear, sir.
All right. A very splendid evening to everyone that is here, the students of the QHSCS Academy, the alumni of the QHSCS Academy, and every member of the QHSCS Leadership Network as a whole. Our very, very distinguished guests, our also just guests that are joining this session, and the general public who have also joined this session to learn. The QHSCS Leadership Network and the Academy as an extension of that was established to share knowledge on sustainability, on quality, health, safety, and environment. And today, being the World Day for Environment, is a special day and a day also that we can use to reflect and learn on the things that are necessary and important in the society. They say sustainability is anchored on three things: the people, the planet, and the profit. But there's one thing that we all know that is very clear, and that is without the planet, there is no people and there's no profit in the first place. The theme of this year's World Day for the Environment is solutions to plastic pollution. And we have a very, very distinguished person, a very knowledgeable person to take us and talk to us about this topic. It is a pleasure to be here once again among people who are passionate about the environment and passionate about sustainability, passionate about making a difference. And as my very, very enlightened brother, Olusegun Olaniyi, has said, and also the video has pointed to us, let's do better. The question is, how can we be better? How can we do better? What are the steps we can take to building this better world, this sustainable world that we are looking for? I believe that's why we are all here. So I encourage us to please sit down, find a very, very calm environment that you can listen to this lecture and participate as much as we can, because what we participate in, we learn. Let's know that in as much as we've had a very busy Monday, a very, very productive Monday, we are still all here with the passion to see what we can do to make the world a better place. So it is with great pleasure and it is with great honor that I welcome all of us here. And I pray that this is a session that will stay with us for a very long time. So thank you very much to the QHSC Academy leadership, and thank you very much to our very distinguished speaker who has made out this special time to share from her wealth of knowledge with us. Thank you very much. Oyin, over to you.
Thank you so much, Adegboyega. Thank you for that welcome address. Without much ado, we'd just like to introduce our speaker for this evening. I'll start by reading a brief profile so that we can have a grasp of who she is. Dr. Arise, like we fondly call her, is a versatile eco-consultant with over 20 years hands-on experience in the oil and gas industry, consulting, manufacturing, private sector, and international non-government organization. She is currently the Executive Secretary of the Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance, the Pioneer Vice President of Recyclers Association of Nigeria, Technical Lead of World Safety Organization Nigeria, an independent consultant at Impact Solutions Limited, and the former SHE EPCM1 manager at Delta Africa. She is a project management practitioner, a climate change leader with a flair for research and development, willing to contribute to sustainable development and sustaining a safety, health, and environmental career. Thank you so much. You've been a very wonderful person to us in the academy. We cannot thank you enough for sharing your time with us this evening. So everyone, please sit back, relax, encourage her by clapping for her, cheering for her in the chat room. Please, thank you very much for coming, Max. Over to you.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for this opportunity. For some reason, I can never say no to QHSE as Academy when I'm called on, no matter the time. And it's actually my passion to be able to share knowledge on platforms like this, because I always learn from it too. So yeah, helping me as much as I'm helping you. So, and I believe we'll have an interactive session. I hope we all had a great day. I saw at the beginning of the event when Oni was asking what happened at organizations today, and some people said nothing. It's not bad. And the World Environment Day, yes, the greatest platform for promoting environmental issues, but it shouldn't be just a day. It should be a culture and a lifestyle. We should need to be able to step up for the environment. As professionals, if you look at QHSE, E is always the silent part of it. So we need, because of the issues, the global issues we're having now, we need more people in that space. No matter the profession you're promoting, we all live on planet Earth. So it's very good for us to add our voice and ensure that we can contribute to this. Can you please allow me to share? Okay. And I know I've taken the class for waste management already. So some of the things I'm going to talk about would have been some things I've shared. However, it's just for emphasis because there are things that we need to do. So yesterday, we're celebrating the World Environment Day, and the theme for this year, I hope I'm clear enough. I'm seeing that my internet is fluctuating. If I need to change, let me know. The theme for this year's World Environment Day, Solutions for Plastic Pollution. This is the 50th year anniversary. So you can imagine for 50 years, we've had the platform where a day is set aside to celebrate the environment or to talk about issues in the environment, and then to profile solutions for the environment. Today, world leaders, environmentalists are meeting in Ivory Coast, an African country. So you can see that the focus is shifting on Africa because we're now seeing the impact of environmental issues. Some of the issues like climate change, global warming. The first time I heard about it, I was like, it's not happening in Nigeria. But today the story is different. And that's what we're actually pushing and saying, we need to also contribute and act now and do something. Just like the videos talked about, we can do better. Let's be better. So we all have a role to play. So just to start off, there are two pictures I put here and I joined them together. And these two pictures are actually real life pictures from Nigeria for the benefit of those that don't live in Nigeria. So I looked at two different environments, one from the ocean. Some of us like the water, we like to go to the beaches, and then one from the land. So the right picture is from the land, and it's a true life picture in a location in Kwara State, Ilorin, in the middle belt of Nigeria. And then the picture on the left is a location in Lagos, in the Lekki area, is on the beach. So these are true life pictures of, we'll say pretty much a lot of plastic. You can see plastic material that we can see in this picture. But the question I want to ask is, who is responsible for putting this in that environment? No, the first question is, does this plastic material belong to this location? Is that where it's meant to be? We can just put in the chat. That's the first question. And if you can see this, just the mere sight of it alone, we already know that this is contributing to plastic pollution. And then the topic for today, or the theme for this year, is that we should find solutions for plastic pollution. But the first thing before we look for solutions is, who is responsible? We can put on the chat. And only you can help. Let me see, I can see. We are responsible, not we're segregated. Okay. No, it doesn't belong there, correct. Okay, so who is responsible? And I'll say all of us were responsible. You and I are responsible for this. And why would I say that? Yes, we have producers that have produced the products and they are putting it into the market. We love some particular products and we have bought the products. We have enjoyed the content or the product itself, but what happens to the packaging? And of course, for it to get here, people in the three P's, people aspects have put it in the planet. And so we are all responsible. So if we are all responsible, who will take action? We will all take action. I also like the fact that we did a sustainability moment. For years, I was used to a safety moment, and that's interesting because, and I remember one of the very common slogan in safety is everyone's responsibility. So also the environment is everyone's responsibility. So we are responsible to ensure that we find solutions for plastic pollution, and we also do not mismanage plastics. At the introduction to, we spoke about the importance of plastic. Plastic itself, if you see it, is not a problem. So the problem we actually have is the mismanagement of the plastic, indiscriminate disposal, disposing in a not non-environmental friendly way or not an environmental sound way. And that's why we have these issues in our environment. So if you look at the kind of lifestyle we have lived in the past few years till date, we live in a way that we take resources, we use it to make products, we produce products or we manufacture products, we use it and then we dispose. We have a throwaway culture. Everything is thrown, chucked in the bin. Everything is thrown in the bin. We don't think of how can we reuse, reduce, recycle, and all the other arrows we have. We just dispose. And we're seeing that we are losing resources with that. If there are a lot of people in this Nigeria, in this sector, in the green economy sector, that if I show that picture, they'll ask me, please, where is it? You know why they'll ask that question? They'll ask me, where is that location? Please give me the pin. Get me the Google map of that location. I need to go there. Because they've identified that it is a resource for them. It is a resource for some sectors. There are some people that are using that as a resource for a lot of other things. So for them, it's not waste. It's not what we call waste. It's a resource. And so that's what the circular economy on the right side of this slide is talking about. So how do we transit from a linear economy where we use and we just dispose, throw it away, chuck it in the bin, and then we'll go to a circular economy where things are put back into use. So after using, instead of disposing, we collect it back through a system. It is transformed and it is reused and put back into production. And it is happening. And I know some of people that have listened to the model for waste management will see it, but I also put it again for emphasis on how people are turning the things we call waste, the things we are throwing away, it's becoming a resource for another industry. And a new industry is booming and coming up and it's contributing to the green economy. And it's also creating jobs, creating opportunities, putting people out of the poverty level, ensuring that communities have a new source of welfare, putting money on the table and putting food on the table. So that is what is happening with this circular economy. And it's something I believe we can all tap into. Someone mentioned about zero waste. And I know initially we used to have the waste hierarchy, but now, of course, everything is about zero. And for those that have a background in safety, you know that zero harm, zero incident, and zero. So even in environment, we also have zero waste. And the question is, can zero waste actually be achieved? The answer is yes. But the only thing we need to do, we need to apply the principles of waste management, of integrated waste management, to be able to achieve zero waste. And how can we do that? If you see, it's a pyramid, and the pyramid, of course, is wider at the top and goes down. And when it's wider at the top is the highest priority. And as much as possible, you want to prevent taking or applying the principles at the bottom. That is like the last option when you have tried all the options on the top. And then if you look at the top of the pyramid, is focused on production. And the question is asking to rethink. Why are we not rethinking design? Why are we not redesigning for circularity? Circularity means designing out waste. So even in your production process, you're eliminating waste. Just like we say in safety, elimination, prevention is better, is always the best option. Remove the hazard. So why are we not removing, if you say plastic pollution is a problem, how do we remove plastic pollution or the material that can cause plastic pollution? That's by redesigning. And so I know it has also been mentioned in the introduction, single-use products should be avoided. Why should you make a product that you're just using for a single time, once? If you see global statistics, 40% of plastics that are produced just for one-time use. So why are they still being produced? Why can't we look for alternatives? Why can't we look for other types of designs that can be used, that they can keep pouring it back into the system instead of it being a one-time use? So that's the first option, because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, plastics will still be produced. But then, how can we look for options that plastic, when they are being produced, they are either reducing the amount of plastic that is used, they are eliminating some aspect that can be replaced with other material like paper, and other sustainable material, or you're also rethinking, do we really need to produce this, or do we need to change everything in general? The next one is reduce. And in that rethinking, sorry, not only for producers, we're looking at even individuals. When you want to buy a product, you look at the product and say, should I buy this product in packaging? Now in Nigeria, we know that there are different options. Anything you want to buy, it has different options. And so you can always pick. And that's where the rethink comes in. You think about it. Okay, if I buy this product in this packaging, what would I do after I enjoy the product? Can I recycle it? Can I reuse it? Can it be put back into another production? Can I donate it to a company that is reusing that material? So those are the things we need to rethink. The next one is to reduce. So consumption, when we're consuming, when we're buying, green procurement should be applied to be able to reduce the waste that is generated. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it globally too, each human being generates at least 0.5 kg of waste. How can we reduce that generation of waste of different material? Reuse, there are lots of things we need to also start reusing. The packaging, yes, I know most times it's something that in Nigeria, we already have that culture of reuse, but can we do more? Can we repair? Can we refurbish for alternative use instead of just throwing it away? Can we also gift it out to other people that they can management? And then the next one is recycle. So you can see that before you even get to recycling, you'd have thought of all the other options. And then recycling is something that is also being promoted. The entity that I manage, the Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance, is also something we'll focus on there, but we also look at the other options before then. So a lot of the producers that I work with, they're now rethinking their design. A typical example, Coca-Cola, they used to have Sprite in green bottle. And sometimes we wonder, yes, you might think it's just marketing alone. Why did they change the green bottle of Sprite to the clear bottle? Because of recycling. It was more difficult to recycle a colored bottle than to recycle the clear bottle. So when they are thinking sustainability, they have to change the design. If you look at another company, I work with Nestle, the Milo drink, the straws used to be plastic. We know that plastics contribute a lot, plastic straws, sorry, contribute a lot to microplastics, especially in the ocean. So now they've changed it to paper. If you notice, you see that they don't use plastic straws anymore. So those are some of the examples. And then you'll see other types of bottles, like a cereal bottle, even the Nestle bottle, they are now lightweight. And sometimes we're wondering, we're like, oh, it's fake. I know sometimes in Nigeria we'll say it's fake, but they're also doing lightweighting to reduce the amount of plastic for one bottle. So those are ways and measures that companies and different entities are thinking and saying, how can we achieve zero waste? Then you talk about material recovery, where material is being recovered. It can also have something to do with energy recovery and things like that. Then at the end of the day, residual management, when you can't do anything with the waste that has been generated, you have looked at the other options, you have reused it several times, you have recycled, you still have some material left, you now manage the residue. So yes, we can achieve zero waste. This slide, I think I've shown some people this before, and it's just showing a picture of different types of waste that can be generated, not only plastic, but it's also showing that value can be created from waste. I'll give you an example of this quickly, why I showed this. So these slippers, I hope my cursor is showing the picture. These slippers is made from pure water sachet. And it's a lady in Ibadan that is doing that. So she has made slippers, laptop bags. I actually have a sling bag that is made from pure water sachet, and I carry it proudly. Because guess what? In as much as we're saying that plastic stays in the environment for years, for over 100 years, that means that my bag will stay for over 100 years. What does that mean? I can use it forever. So whatever amount I spent to buy that bag, I'm not going to replace it. Unlike my leather bag, my cloth bag, and the other types of bag. So it also has an advantage when it is reused or recycled or repurposed for another use. But guess what? I saw a video yesterday or this morning that the lady, Planet 3R, she's now using, our detergents, the sachet we use for detergents, for Omo, Sunlight, all those products, detergent sachet. She's now using it to make the same bags. And I'm like, this is interesting. So she's using them into, like, the way they make ashoke, that's actually the process she uses. So she's shredding them and then she's using it to make bags. So she has also provided a solution for that plastic waste. And so it's very important for us to start rethinking and be innovative and creative in our thinking. And the things we see that they look like waste, they can be a resource, and how can we apply them? So we need to keep thinking, rethinking. And for us to rethink, the only thing we need is just a mindset change. Let's stop looking at waste as dirty. Let's stop looking at waste as something that is not needed. Let's start looking at giving a second life, creating value to that waste, giving it a second life, looking at the life cycle of that. If we say plastics can stay for a long time, that means whatever we make out of that waste plastic can also stay for a long time and can be sustainable over time. So if you look at it, you're now seeing a lot of household products that are being made from plastic and they can last forever. You don't need to buy another new one. So those are the things we need to look at. I think I saw someone raising the hand. I don't know. I can't see the person anymore. So at the end of the day, what is my role in beating plastic pollution? What is your role in beating plastic pollution? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. And so we need to also understand our role as youth, citizens, public, private sector, governments, or regulatory authority or agencies, non-governmental organizations, wherever we find ourselves, we have a role to play in protecting and conserving our natural resources. If you know the process it takes for plastic to be produced, for extraction of plastic, and we know it's coming from oil, and we know how everything is, even in Nigeria. So why can't we conserve that and say, instead of producing new plastic, we'll reuse what we have for something else? And the second point I want to talk about in our role is that we are major contributors, like we have seen. We have all alluded to the fact that we are major contributors to plastic pollution through indiscriminate disposal and poor management. Even what we generate in our homes, we don't manage properly. So how can we find solutions? So if we have a role to play, we can also become an ambassador for the environment, because Mother Earth is crying because they need our support. They need us to provide solutions. And I'm looking at it from an individual point of view. We know what the government should do. If we sit here today and start talking about what government should do, what producers should do, but I want to come with a different approach. We all know what others are meant to do, but also we have a role to play. If we start with ourselves, there's a slogan that says, change begins with you and I. So let's start with us. Let's create awareness on this sustainable lifestyle in our daily routine. We go to the shop. Why do we have to take the nylon bag they give us? Why can't we carry the reusable bag? We are going out for the day. Most of us just got back from work, study, wherever we went out for our daily endeavor. Why do we have to be buying the bottles, the plastic bottles? Why can't we carry a reusable water bottle? So that you just buy it and pour inside. In our homes, why can't we have dispenser water that you just use a cup and drink? Even in the offices, why can't office switch to, even for meetings, have a water dispenser in your meeting room instead of providing bottles? We need to start making those choices and changing our lifestyle to be more sustainable. If you have different types of waste you are generating, why can't you separate it in your homes and look for a service provider that can collect it? And then the good part of it is incentives are attached to those kind of activities. So why are we not talking about these topics? If it's not if not in this academy, why are we not talking about it? The little knowledge we have learned, why are we not sharing it? We can also share it with our family members, during social events, our workplaces, events, entertainment scenarios. And I also challenge the person that wrote. I didn't look at the name, and I don't want to call your name even if I see it. I want to challenge you that did not have any activity today. From these ideas we are discussing, you can just pick one initiative and drive it in your office and say, this is World Environment Week. Just do that solution and see. I'll give a typical example, just in an office setting. When I was working with Delta Africa Engineering, one of the initiatives we did was even just ensuring that we don't waste paper. Doing duplex printing, making sure the paper is shredded. And I got a vendor, Bolus, they use the paper to make exercise book, to make tissue paper. And guess what? When we started collecting it, we shred the paper for confidentiality. When they come and they wait, they were giving us a stipend in that office. And that stipend we're using to do like programs for incentives or people that are, identifying hazards. That's just a little idea. And it became something big. And there was a point we even did like a marathon, a shredathon in the office. Because we find out that a lot of people were just storing paper, documents that you have read for how many years, they are there, they are being stored, and it becomes a fire hazard in the office. So we did a shredathon, clear your workstation. And if you know the amount of waste that was generated, and we were able to call that service provider to come and pick it up, and we got money for the company. We use it, like thank God it's Friday, or we achieve any safety or safety milestone. We use it to buy things. Pizza for the office. Everybody eats pizza because we have done well. We have shredded. Our workstation is clean. We're even giving awards for the best workstation. So those are some of the ideas that you can infuse your safety environment in your office. And they are simple ideas. You don't have to go and meet management to say, okay, they say there's no budget. It's just something you can create and you can even add value. And that's what we should start doing as professionals in our place of work, wherever we find ourselves. The future of work is changing. So we should be able to add value and become relevant where we find ourselves. So in our spheres of influence, a lot of us are on social media. A lot of us are in different groups. How are we using our voice to speak out about things like this? We're not talking about it enough. A lot of people still do not know. I was out for 3 different events on the street today, and we're talking to people. They are wondering, what are we talking about? So there's still a gap, and we need more people to start speaking about it. Just imagine if everybody, we're 123, if every one of us here on our social media post something this week about one thing we have learned from here, or about a solution to plastic pollution. It will go viral, and we get a hashtag. Let's say QHSC Academy have a hashtag. It's something we can also do, and decide on an approach and say what we do. Do a hashtag. 123 people post that hashtag on their social media network. It will go viral. People will be calling engineer jamming. So those are the things we need to be able to be the change maker, lead by our action. There's a lot of information out there on the internet. Look for support network, look for connection in sectors. A lot of this week, today, I know how many webinars went on. Throughout the week, we're having webinars, even personally on our organization. Tomorrow, we're having webinars for collectors. The next day on Wednesday, we're having for producers. A lot of webinars are ongoing. Tomorrow, I have I think on Wednesday, I have one for the BSO. I have one for, what's the group? Sterling Bank, a panel session. So there are different events happening at this time. So it's an opportunity for us to key in and learn things. And with that, just pick one, even if it's advocacy, and put your mark and decide where you want to play, so that we can develop a sustainable culture in Nigeria. There are events that are happening. We see it on social media. Let's volunteer and be part of it, those initiatives, so that we can add our own voice to things that are happening. So some of the solutions I just want to bring to us, adopting the 10. You remember we used to have 3 R's. Now the R's they're almost getting to 20. But yeah, some of them I just put 10 here. Rethink, refuse, re-strategize, redesign, reduce, reuse, repurpose. A lot of upcycling activities are going on, and they are beautiful. Why are we not buying them? I talked about the bag from Pure Water Sachet. That bag, I'll use it. The bag will beg me. I'll use it for a long time. Another thing that is generating waste, do we know that t-shirts, clothes are made from plastics? A lot of clothes are there. We have a lot of clothes. Our wardrobe is full. We're not decluttering. We're not giving out to charity. Meanwhile, a lot of people don't have clothes to wear. So those are reuse measures. Recycle. You can turn your day growing up, you turn your jeans trouser to jeans shorts when it's getting old, and what's it? There's a lot of design now coming on in terms of upcycling. We need to do advocacy. Advocacy, promote advocacy. Advocacy can be within even in your church, your mosques, your religious group, your community, your estate, your neighbors. A lot of people still don't know. On Saturday, people come out to do exercise sports. Just give a 1-minute talk without a sustainability moment. Do something like that. Just tell them, do you know that these bottles people are throwing away? It can be collected. So those are the things. We're having a lot of people use technology now. But we also know that data is king, and data is a very great challenge in Nigeria. Why can't we tap into technology to track how much waste is generated in my house?
Oh, we sincerely apologize. I'm sure our facilitator speaker will join in another few minutes. She has experiencing difficulty with the network, but I'm sure she'll be back in a minute. Thank you. Yeah, ma'am.
Sorry. So, I don't know. Yeah, important. Yes. Okay, so data is also important. We can also go, for those of us that are good with numbers, look at data analysis, use of technology to track and monitor waste generation within our communities. Because when we have data available, it helps to drive projects. There are lots of international firms that want to come into Nigeria. They want to do feasibility studies. We can even go into that, consulting for feasibility studies. So I'm also talking about solutions and opportunities that are there that we can tap into. A lot of people want to do studies, even World Bank, all those international entities, even smaller organizations that want to come and invest in Nigeria. They need the data. People don't have the data. They also need people to go out there to talk to people, understand people's behavior. How do we change behavior, behavioral change? Policies, the next one. We need to be able to influence policies. There are already existing policies. Even in the last 3 years, we have a regional policy, ECOWAS regional policy on plastic waste. We have national policy on plastic waste 2020, on solid waste 2020. Yeah, 2020. We have a Lagos state plastic policy. We have a recently adopted physical policy measures that is going to put a green tax. So those are things we need to source for information on the internet and see how we can start influencing policies. Understand what the policy means and look for opportunities where you can tap in. Upcycling, I talked about it, repurposing material. Eco-labeling, companies have to start putting labels on their products to ensure that they are sustainable. Extended producer responsibility. Producers are responsible for the life cycle of their product, and that's what we do at the FBRA, where the Producer Responsibility Organization, approved by NESRA, the government, to implement EPR, so that producers are responsible, contribute money, contribute funding, contribute their time and resources to be able to take back the material or the packaging of what they've put out. Today, for 3 different of our organizations throughout the week, they're going to be having sensitization, cleanups, and market activities. We have now commissioned today the take back of cigarette butts, as small as they are. If you go to the beaches, they are causing havoc there. As small as they are, and they have plastic content. So we started giving distributors receptacle where they can pick up that cigarette butt, the end of it, there's plastic content in there, and it stays in the environment for years. That's why you go to the beach, you see a cigarette butt is still there. But you know that those can be recycled into other types of plastic, into tiles or floors and things like that. We also need sustainable packaging. Companies, no matter how small your company is, even if it's a Zobo producing company, you need to be able to also think that, okay, if I buy Zobo, and I have people that I supply to, can I tell them to bring back their container? I'm not going to reuse it. I know people because of food safety. But I can give it to someone that is recycling it. And then they'll give me money to help me to buy the new product I'm buying if I have to buy a new product. Or you are selling food. Must you put it in a plastic container? Can't I put it in a paper container? So those are the things we need to start thinking of: sustainable packaging, packaging that can be recycled, packaging that are biodegradable, not the ones that will stay in the environment and cause pollution. Green procurement, what kind of goods are we buying? Are we thinking environmental friendly goods? How do we help the government to enforce waste management regulations? Like I talked about, there are many policies in place. We need to be able to help the government, give them ideas. The next one is waste segregation at source. Some of us were still commingling our waste. It makes it difficult for collection, for recycling. Can we separate our waste? Plastic one way, paper one way. Because if you put paper and plastic, and maybe the plastic has oil or something, it stains it. So the one I was talking about, shredding for exercise book and toilet roll, you can't have it. You can't use it again. It's useless. Then finally, for education, and I like what QHSC Academy is doing, by putting environmental sustainability in the curriculum. This is what we should start driving in schools. We also have school programs where we go to schools and teach them about recycling. So these are the things that we need to start thinking of. And of course, you can be an academia, you can be in a school, maybe you're teaching a school. Start talking about that. And you can start it small, even if maybe it takes a process for approval for the curriculum. Why not start with sustainability clubs, environmental clubs, and get children together and teach them tree planting, separate your waste, things like that. There are lots of NGOs that are doing that you can also invite to get involved. I'm available if you want. I can help to also drive that in schools with something we do. So as I round up, this is the decade of action. And if I say the decade of action was launched in 2010. We're already in 2023, and we've done half year. So there's no time. And we all know how time flies. If we're able to beat plastic pollution, even global warming and climate change we're talking about, they're going to be solved. Because plastic pollution, when there's plastic in the drainage, it causes flooding, it contributes to sea level rise, and then greenhouse gases are emitted, global warming, climate change. So we are already on the countdown on our decade of action, and we're not there yet. So we are behind time. They say the best time we would have done it would have been yesterday. So what can we do today? Today, the next steps we'll have today through adopting solutions for plastic pollution. Just pick one solution and try to do it. Even start with your family. Because if you start with your family, if you have 3 family members, they will tell a friend to go across. I will keep saying it. There's power in numbers. Just 123 people we have here. If we do it this night now, start on our social media, it will go viral. Only please, let's think of something, a hashtag for this academy that we want to promote as a solution. It might be the first one you talked about. So finally, we have information. Let's get information knowledge on plastic pollution. I was not find out more trainings online. Be a change maker, an ambassador in your community. And I always say start with your family because they are the easiest. They know you. Start with them. By the time you start with your family, use them to practice. You can now go to your neighbors, practice, come to your community, practice. Before you know, you'll be a global person. And that's how we start. Use your network to create awareness. Identify environmental groups and networks and join. There are a lot of free ones that you can join. Identify projects within your community, your school, your office, your environment. Another thing I also want to say is that there are lots of career opportunities and studies available. Let's explore the internet. The world is now very small. Take action today and be that voice. The easiest thing we can do is to use our voice. It's free. At least thank God we can talk. So let's use our voice to be that change. We don't have to pay money for it. If you just speak to one person today, that person speaks to another person. And that's how it becomes a culture. Even you will enjoy it because once you speak to your family members are doing it. Your family members speak to your neighbors, they are doing it. Your environment will be clean. The air you breathe will be clean. So we all have a role to play. And if we start now, it will go a long way in making the change that we want to see. So I want to round up with saying Happy World Environment Day. It's not just a one-day thing. It should become a lifestyle for us. And we can start now. If we have not taken action before, start now. If you're already taking action, do more. If you're about to take action, start taking action. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that very insightful, practical, and realistic nuggets that you shared with us this evening. We cannot thank you enough for this wisdom you shared with us. Thank you so much for sharing from your wealth of experience. We really appreciate you. We have a question for you in the Q&A from Yekini Kolawole.
Okay.
So he's saying, for those who are already
Okay.
sorting plastic waste, where do they take it for recycling, especially in Lagos?
In Lagos. Okay, so it depends on where you live. I would have asked where you live, but the important thing is for the benefit of everyone, there's Recyclers Association of Nigeria. And in Lagos specifically, and Recyclers Association of Nigeria, just Google them. In Lagos specifically, they have Lagos Recyclers Association. So it's an association of different recyclers are in different locations that operate in different locations. So if you live in Yaba, there's someone that can pick up from there, or that you can drop off from there. If you live in Lekki, there's someone in Bagada, different areas. So it depends on where you live. But that information is available on the internet, or only you can give me my number, then we can chat, and if I get your location, I'll be able to know who you can connect with. Yes,
Alright.
Pakam app. Okay, sorry, someone reminded me. So you can also download it for Lagos specifically. You can download the Pakam app. That's even the easiest way. So download the Pakam app, and then it will tell you the closest recycler or collector to your location, and they can pick up. So you can request for a pickup, just like Uber. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, Pakam. Thank you, Ma. Mrs. Adene, thank you. Pakam app is on the chat. So you can download it from your Android, what do you call it?
Your Google Play Store, your Apple Store.
Google Play Store, your Apple Store, yeah. Google Play Store.
All right.
That's the easiest way.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. I really appreciate you for your time this evening. Please, audience, kindly please show a word of appreciation via the chat to our very dearest speaker this evening. She has shared nuggets that we can take back to our household, to our organizations. She said that we should be a voice of change. We hope that with this session that we have had this evening, very short yet packed session, you'll be able to go back to your organization and be a voice of change. Thank you so much, Ma. If there's any other question, please just put them in the Q&A. If not, we'll just go straight to the next thing on the agenda. Thank you. So, okay, there's one question. Okay, so from Oluwatoyin Oluwale, I have been in the business of buying bad batteries. What are the steps and certification to make it big? Okay. Madam or Mr. Oluwatoyin, I might need to unmute you so that we can get a context to your question. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, Ma.
Good evening.
Yeah, I think I actually wanted to contact you while you finished your last class with us, but I wasn't able to get your contact. Yeah, I've been buying bad batteries for like 5 years now, but I don't know how to develop the system. From your last class, I was able to conceive that I'm going to get some certification to make it big, and I've been trying to get your contact via the platform you shared, but I wasn't able to do that. So I'm using this opportunity to request for your number so that I can, probably if you can help me, then I can further my business.
Okay, so are you talking about battery waste? Is that what you said?
Mr. Oluwatoyin, please, I'm asking you to unmute, please.
Did you say battery?
Yes, lead acid batteries.
Oh, lead acid battery. Okay, so there's a PRO, there's a producer responsibility organization for that. I'll just link you up to them. ARBR. You have to register with them. Yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, there's one more question that I would like to take before we go to the next thing on the agenda. Okay, the person has dropped his hand. Okay, this is from Indami Vincent. Sometime this year, I used the Recycling Innovative app for an application in Canada, and it was approved, and I'm currently in progress. I'm the lead programmer and initiator of this initiative. Canadian team are so happy with the app because it's multifaceted in nature. though still not tested. This class opened my eyes to a lot of things that I could integrate into the application. How do I integrate local recycling organization into my system process?
Okay, so first it depends on where your location is. If you're in Lagos, I also believe you need to also have a discussion with PACAM to see what they are doing and see how it can be integrated, because PACAM is already working with the Lagos Recyclers Association. So if you're outside Lagos, we can also connect you to the other recyclers within the area, because of course, if you have that kind of application, you need to start with a pilot. And so you pilot it first, you test it. When you have seen that it works, you can now expand it. So I might need to get more information about that. Maybe we can connect after this, but that's the best way to go. So if you are operating in an already existing area where there's an application, you see how you can discuss and synchronize that. And if it's a gray area where there's none, you can now start afresh with a pilot with the existing and collection partners around there. But we have a link or a network of collection partners across Nigeria. So it's not a problem.
All right, thank you so much, man. I think that will be all from the audience with respect to questions. Thank you so much. Idami, you can DM me, I will share the content. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Thank you very much for your time this evening, and we really appreciate you for spending your evening with us, even though today was really a long day for you. So much, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, ma'am. So the materials,
Okay.
the presentation slide, the recording of this session will be shared to everyone, and attendance link will be shared real soon. So the next thing is for Engineer Jay to come on board to give his closing remarks. Engineer Jay, sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Oye, for the moderation. First and foremost, I want every one of us to go on the chat forum to thank Dr. Agarase for a very wonderful presentation. I gained a lot, so amazing, very clear. Even the most stupid person in this world, we understand the language and what she was saying. Madam, you have really impacted our world. We God continue to strengthen, we continue to honor, we continue to bless you. I must confess, I want us to note today, in our plan is every of the days, world days that are related to the academy, the rule is they must be celebrated. Sincerely, we forgot what environmental day, we know the date, but we are just thinking, we never even put the plan in place. I thought you have put the plan in place until 12 a.m. today. That is 12 a.m. today. I just remember, wow, we've not put WED program in place. I just sent a message to her. She said, no, wow. I look online, I send message straight to Agarese because I know this is one of the key areas, that's one of those champions in Africa. So I said, let me contact her. And she was also online. I saw her online. I said, though it is late, I went ahead and I started chatting with her since this morning. And she's so busy today. And she said, no matter how busy I am for the academy, I am going to come. Let's put it at 7. And she was just getting home to 7. Dr. Agarese, we thank you so much for this, honor you gave to us. May God continue to honor you. On behalf of the QHSCS Leadership Academy, we are proud of you. We say thank you so much. In addition to being our very powerful faculty member, you have always been very awesome. The lecture was insightful, very, very apt, and the lecture touched a lot of things. In short, I went online to inform others I cannot hear that they have missed a lot. And I will make sure, and I've just told the registrar that this should go for like 20%. Anybody that missed today's class, you have 20% deducted from their mark. Why? Because a lot of these, our students, have noticed what they are looking for is certificate. They're not really looking for, I want to learn and I want to know. I've met some of them in interview of recent, they failed interview. That's why what they have taught them. It's because they don't mix up. This lecture you deliver today cannot be gotten in class. These are lectures you got once a while, complete, because you are celebrating WED. Some people are online now, they are not from Nigeria to listen to this course, just because they saw it on LinkedIn and they came to join. Then why would the students of the academy not involved in learning? Just 1 hour, 1.5 hours for you to learn. Once again, on behalf of the academy, we say thank you, and all our guests, all those who came to join us, we thank you for coming to join us. If you have put your registration down, we'll share the video with you, we'll share the slide with you, so that you can also have the slide, and you can also think of which action do you want to take. Take action, so that all of us can do little things at least to support this world. Little you do, we become old when all of us do it together. Dr. Gade said, thank you for saying very simple thing that the HSC guys can do. Most of the HSC guys, sincerely, somebody said it today, only the safety you know. You don't know about operational health, most of you. You don't know about environmental management, most of you. When I get to interview and I give questions on environmental management, they don't know. I ask somebody what is the circular economy. The person said, I've not studied economics, sir. I don't do economics. I said, eh? He said he didn't study economics in school. Is that an asked circular economy? He has not even had it of it before. And he's claiming to be HSC manager of a company, looking for head of HSC of another company. Learning like this always helps. Nobody can say I've known all. We always come, join classes like this, and learn from whoever is coming to take us, because they are experts on this field. Simple analysis you can do. We don't have money in our company. We can't do environmental management, no sustainability. Tell them in your restaurant, no bottled water. Put dispenser water there. You have added one value. Can you imagine? You have added, just example, just give us, you have added one value. Somebody told me when they said, how can we do energy conservation in our office here? And people I don't have anything to tell them. Everything I've read involves money. I said, which money? You have lift in your company? He said, yes. Can you for 1 or 2, 3 days, once a while, shut down the lift and let people move from 3 to 6th floor, 1 to 3rd floor free, 3 to 6th floor, you shut it down for some days. And not conserving energy like that if you do such things as a behavior. Small things you do that you don't need to fight your management, because HSC people always complain because you lack the knowledge and understanding of leadership, you're able to manage your leaders. And that is the reason why you are in the academy to learn. But when you don't come to programs like this, how will you going to be successful? How? I was in a place on Saturday after the first round of the debate. I rushed down there. The management team and HSC is serious fight. Project managers and HSC, serious fight. Construction site, they are fighting. They are in the training, they say, yes, they are still fighting. After I finished looking to them, they now calm down. And I told them, Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, his speed is 9.58 seconds. However, when Usain Bolt joined 3 other people to do 4x100 meter race, relay race, what they have is 32.84. I said, if you find the average of 32.84 seconds divided into 4, you are going to have 9.21 seconds, which means 9.21 seconds when they are joined together, when they collaborated, when they aligned, when they serve as teamwork, when they do Ubuntu, I am because we are, they get a less time to complete compared to when Usain Bolt, the international winner, will do it alone. Coming together to do together, you achieve more than doing it alone. You can never see any business leader in the world that make it by doing it in isolation, in silos. Only me. We join together. Bashoru M.Q. Abiola of blessed memory, he has said that you should clap with one hand. Test it where you are. Clap with one hand. You will see that you must clap with two hands for people to hear you. On this basis, I say, once again, thank you, Dr. Agarese. Just today, we just force you out of your time to relax, to do this. Without giving you 5 naira. A lecture that if they want to give you for this lecture is less than 500,000 naira, and we have it free of charge. Thank you so much, and God bless you, madam. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Engineer Jay. We really appreciate you always for always being a mentor to all of us here. Together we achieve more. Okay, together we can do better for our environment and also our various organizations. Thank you all for coming. We have come to the end of this very session. For many who are wanting to get the presentation slide, please click on the link shared by myself on the chat room and document your attendance. Fill in your email address, your name, your where you're coming from, all of that details. And by the end of tomorrow, you will receive all of these materials in your mailbox. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate everyone. Please do not put your email address in the chat for public knowledge, just for your security. Please click on the link that's been shared and document your attendance. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Thank you, Oye. Before they go, let us appreciate the former permanent secretary of Ministry of Environment, Lagos State. That's Mama Odeleye is also here. We thank you, Ma. We appreciate you, Madam. Mama is the Mama of Safety, is Mama of Environment. We thank her so much. For our students in the academy, we had an unfortunate incident that happened to us. Fortunately, we lost one of our students, and we'll get back to the academic forum to announce more. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Engineer Jami, for that. Thank you. So please do not leave your email address in the chat room. Please click on the link being shared by myself and my team to document your name and your email address, and by the end of tomorrow, we would share the materials with you. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. So please, if you have documented your attendance and shared your email addresses via the attendance link, please, you can leave. Thank you very much.